Hello everybody and welcome back to our last round, round 20 of the third Limitless Qualifier. We're closing in, we are almost getting ready for top 8 and yeah, this is the last round. We have two players who have been on stream before. We tried to get a few other people to stream for us who had win-ins, but some of them had technical issues, which is like, it's fine, you know. You don't want to be bothered with like setting up the technical stuff right before an important win-in for top 8, so it's understandable. And we took some players that are doing really good. We have Alexis, who's 18-1 currently on Baby Blacephalon, and James, who's 17-2 on Dragapult. And I'm once again joined by Marco.
Hello
Hey, what's up?
everybody, we are ready for this match. It's round 20. We're about to know who's gonna be into top 8 after this match. Super exciting stuff. And look at this start by Alexis. A lot of star boys. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. As well as Zashin. So much gas right here. So yeah, I think he'll be able to capitalize very well on this.
Certainly a lot of cards to be drawn. Now the only piece missing is the Blacephalon and the Welder, right?
Yeah, but 4 Jirachi already at the start here. That's notable. As
That's
well,
more
at the same
than
time,
you need, I guess.
yeah, Jace on the other side is playing the Dragapult deck. This matchup is very interesting, actually. We didn't see it yet, I believe, in stream, and the Dragapult obviously brings an interesting, an interesting counterplay against Blacephalon, because Blacephalon relies a lot onto its supportive Pokemon. But if they get sniped down eventually, then the Dragapult can really outshine it. And there we go. We see actually a boss order. I really like this.
Really
probably
good,
didn't
yeah.
have a supporter in his hand, or maybe even decided to go for this play, which I really like. Stuck in the Zacian there can really hinder Alexis' play. And in fact, another Intrepid Sword, another turn for James to draw something, set himself up, and eventually take the lead.
Yeah, the Zacian being stuck in the active is really good right here. It can't be scooped up. It really makes you really immobile. And if your opponent can't retreat, Dragapult is one of the those decks that can capitalize very well if your opponent has something stuck in the active, because you're not only hitting the active, right? You're also dealing the damage to the bench Pokemon, so you get almost double the value.
Oh yeah, you said
I
it.
feel like.
Exactly so, and obviously as you said, the spread damage is very important. But at the same time, the Dragapult deck can also rely on some other attackers. He does play the Giratina, that Mr. Mime. Exactly, he's also playing the Mr. Mime. I want to talk about this because it's the Scuba block Mr. Mime. So as long as it's able to spread around enough damage, for example, on the Jirachis, just 1 damage on each, on the Mewtwo, if it's benched, that's gonna be very, very massive, and it's gonna eventually clank down the bench of Alexis.
Yeah, but James needs to start drawing some more cards. No supporter played from him just yet.
Yep.
Only going for 60 damage on the previous turn, so and meanwhile Lex is drawing like a whole bunch of cards with Intrepid Swords, and
that's gonna be a whole
now.
bunch of punches that he can throw the way of James. There is also on Mewtwo for next turn if he wants to get that Welder. I think this turn he will just settle down for Intrepid Sword. He could go for the 90 damage. This Dragapult is really massive, but once you play Blacephalon, you are probably the person that is gonna one-shot the other Pokemon.
Yeah, I think going for 90 here is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
it doesn't trigger the bomb.
Yeah, you don't trigger the bomb. That's nice. And you soften up the Dragapult significantly.
Oh.
There's the research probably off the top, so very
massive stuff right here. Lads, you saw it here first. There we go. Max Phantasm this turn will, if there is an energy, will start chip away damage, possibly even spreading. There it is, spreading damage as well on the Mewtwo in the bench. And if we see a Mr. Mime, that could be really, really good.
Yeah, Mr. Mime would be great here. But we also... Oh, there's a scoop up net, so
yeah, so he's just going for the knockout, I think.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to take the knockout here.
Max Phantasm.
This way you really apply a bunch of pressure.
Oh yeah, you start drawing prizes with against Blacephalon. Probably, we saw in the past, Blacephalon had a pretty bad matchup against Malamar, because Malamar was able to eventually, with the spell tag and spreading around damage, you were able eventually to overcome your opponent. However, right now, the Dragapult brings again this problem for the Blacephalon deck, which cannot play as freely as it can in other matchups.
Yes, the Dragapult has certainly a lot of options. I feel like if Blacephalon just misses a beat, then Dragapult should be favored. But and also the giant bombs really add a lot, because if you ever trigger a giant bomb as the Blacephalon player, I think you will fall really, really far behind. So you get
yes, absolutely.
in very tricky situations. Oricorio coming down, probably one of the only dance of tributes we're going to see, because we know that James is going to play down the Mimikyu sooner or later. That will shut off the Oricorio's ability.
Exactly, that Cosmic Clips, Mimikyu has already seen a bunch of play in Tina Chomp, for example, but right now it's making a comeback in the Dragapult decks, and his bench, the Dragapult bench is looking pretty free right now. There's even some card draw going on, and he can't actually one-shot this turn with the Energy Burst. I think the max damage he can do is 210, which is just gonna put the Dragapult to 300 in damage.
I think you can go for the knockout with the Baby Blaze, but that way you have to commit a lot of resources. Your damage Big Genie will move to the bench, but I believe it's worth it.
Yeah, it's fine. You can't respond next turn, so it's chill.
That's what I was about to say. Really nice. That like there's no energy right on the Dragapult on the bench.
And that's the problem about the Dragapult deck. Sometimes it just falls short by not having the connect every turn. No energy acceleration. He does not play any Malamar, which I do like, because I think that's a completely different type of decks. It's probably even clunkier. But yeah, Blacephalon can put up so much pressure, and it's pretty scary here. So yeah, this 250 damage from the Blacephalon will deal enough damage, I believe. Double Tails from Stadium Nav. Second one
once
we see
again.
So yeah, Fireball Circus will take the knockout. And yeah, do you think he should do any other play before taking this knockout?
I think it's fine. Maybe if you're scared of like the Mr. Mime, Scoop Up Mr. Mime, maybe. No, you're not scared, because your opponent has no way to spread damage next turn. So there's no reason to play the Scoop Up net preemptively. So yeah, it's fine to hold everything here. Just gather a bunch of resources and see where you go from there, and you're super far ahead when you're in this position, I think. Now you only need to knock out this other Dragapult VMAX, and you can commit super hard for it if you have to. Like, you win the game anyway, right? So you can overextend as much as you want. You can combo off just as hard as you like to, right?
Yeah, surely. There's a Galarian Zigzagoon once again pinging down the Oricorio. Probably we will see. I think it's just hoping for a Mimikyu to draw it. Eventually locking down this Oricorio, trying to cut the legs off of this Blacephalon deck. There's a Mysterious Treasure.
Yeah, that's really important right there. The treasure probably going to get used for searching the Mimikyu if it's not in the prize cards.
So let's see.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Mime. Okay, valuing that a little bit more. Maybe like you put it down, and this way your opponent can't scoop up the Blacephalon, but just a pass, okay. Playing it defensively.
I think he needs to have damage on in order for the Mr. Mime block. So yeah, as you were saying, like it was meant to stop maybe the Blacephalon, to stick it in there on the active spot. But at the same time, there's no follow-up play. Obviously, that's the problem about the Dragapult deck. It cannot connect attack. It needs at least one turn of pause in which Dragapult survives, and he's able to touch another energy in the bench. Unfortunately, this was not the case this time.
I mean, James is not in that much trouble right now, I think, because he knows that Alexis is not playing any gust effects. Like, there's no Boss's Order. Boss's Order here would be really devastating, but of course, open deck lists give the players the luxury to make those plays and not go for anything that's unnecessarily risky. But of course, you give the Blacephalon player another turn to set up a second Baby Blaze, and yeah, it's looking really dire for James right here. I think Alexis is definitely in a huge advantage right here.
Indeed. Once the Blacephalon starts tasting blood, it's very hard to stop it. There we go. That's another prize card drawn. Fire Crystal is one in his hand. Next turn, he will be able to pile up at least 200 damage if this Blacephalon is not knocked out, which he probably will. But in any case, there we go. Oh, Marnie. Very
Marnie, that
important
was
here.
definitely necessary. You don't want a Blacephalon player to sit there with like a 9-card hand.
There we go.
But
Pretty
it's a
good
really
draws.
good draw for
Yeah.
Alexis.
Fire
And
Flint, Scoop Up Net, and
we
Welder.
haven't seen. Oh, there's the important piece, right? The Shadow Box Mimic. You're shutting off the Overcurious ability, so Alexis will be limited to 4 cards and like plus Stellar Wish and the top deck for his turn to find the knockout. So it's going to be difficult, but it's certainly possible if the deck can do
stuff here, as you say. The Victini will also not be knocked out, but we're left with just 10 HP. Any ping here will be able to eventually take it down. He actually decides to put 2 damage onto the Jirachi, preventing it from being Scoop Up Net. I really like this play.
I like this.
Very mindful. That. And there we go. There's a switch top
Switch off the top anyway. If you die the Scoop Up Net, your opponent's just going to draw the other out.
Yeah, just draw the other card, man. Come on.
Just draw it, man.
So the Jirachi here will actually be able to retrieve even a Stellar Wish. Let's see what he gets. There is a Heat Factory.
Heat Factory would allow him to extend. I think it's not necessary to push for the knockout this turn. You can maybe just wait. I don't think that there's a possibility to take 4 prizes.
Oh yes, there is. Of course there is. If he is able to boss order, he does play 2 copies of it. He just boss orders the Oricorio, and with 1, I think it has a darkness weakness, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he probably need 2 pings, right? No, 3 pings. So no, actually no. As you say, there is no possibilities in this situation. So as long as he doesn't bend anything else.
Yeah, I think you can play a little bit more defensive here, and Welder draw some cards, and maybe your opponent does not have the back-to-back money. That would be really nice. There are a lot of resources left in Alexis' deck that he can use right now. So
those are his last energies, however, and he will need to draw. He has, as you say, a lot of energy recursion, a lot of resources, but
that's not it. That's definitely not it.
Fiery Flint here being a dead card, no use for it. He can Fireball Circus for 50 damage, but I'm not sure that's particularly good. Actually, this could have been flipped by James.
Yeah, maybe you go for another Stellar Wish and try to like set up for the following turns. I don't think it hurts you. Just maybe get a Fire Crystal, and then push for the KO on the next turn. It's not like your opponent's Dragapult will run to the bench anyway. So
exactly.
You don't need to be afraid of that. And then you can follow it up with the Intrepid Sword. So you basically end your turn with the Blacephalon that's ready to attack. Your opponent has to boss order it up, and you also have 7 cards in hand. And the follow-up Welder to maybe refuel your Blacephalon if that's necessary.
There we go. Just decides to go for an Intrepid Sword. Just taking 1 turn out, not going for the trying to close out the game right now as he couldn't. And next turn, I think he misses just 1 more energy acceleration and 1 more energy. Oh no, actually it's 320 HP. Yeah. So many HP.
Yeah, it's so crazy. HP has been like going up so fast. So
there's a boss order.
Boss order here could be really devastating because it's. I mean, there's a follow-up play in Alexis' hand, but it depends on the cards he draws off the Welder plus Stellar Wish. If he's going to be able to get the knockout, because he needs like a 3 energy on the Baby Blacephalon plus 7 in his hand. Like, that's crazy. Or double Scoop Up plus the Zigzagoon.
Exactly. Next turn, the Dragapult for sure will be able to take down the knockout. Yeah. I'm not sure I enjoy the 10 damage extra that I've done to the Jirachi. I would have rather put them on the Jirachi that is on the active right now, so to stop the Scuba blocks. Also, we need to see how many Scuba blocks. I couldn't catch it. How many have been used up until now? There are 2 switches for sure.
Yeah, so, I think there are like 2 scoop ups in Alexis' discard pile. I don't know how many James has used. He used at least once. At least 1. But also the Chaotic Swell is preventing the Heat Factory from really extending here. So you can really see how this Dragapult deck is... like, if the Dragapult would not play the appropriate counters in this situation, the Blacephalon player would be able to draw and access his whole deck in in that
Exactly.
scenario. But of course, if you go 17-2, right, you're really prepared, and
Indeed,
we see
indeed,
that.
considering how popular it was in the last days. But there we go. Jirachi is probably stuck on the active. He decides to go for the Dene. I think he needs to go for this before doing the Stellar Wish. Really depends. There's the skateboard and the Fire Crystal.
Yeah, but he got rid of one fire crystal already.
Ah,
I think
yes.
there are two fire crystals and at least one retrieval in the discard pile, so I don't even know if there's enough energy
Yeah.
recovery left at all.
This
We're going
adventure
to
bag will
see.
know. There is a two scoop up nets, one energy retrieval. That should not do it. Let's see if there is anything up Alexis leave that he can do. He does have the Blacephalon GX, but unfortunately already expended his energy attachment for turn. He could have tried to confuse maybe for one turn. But yeah, oof.
Yeah, that's just sometimes the unfortunate thing about Baby Blaze. If you don't draw your resources in the right order, like if you draw if you draw a fire crystal and then you don't draw the rest of your acceleration, you may be forced to throw that fire crystal away or gets shuffled away before you can use it efficiently. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate, I think, overall. Only going to be able to recover 5 energy, and if those hit the discard pile, you're out of energy for the rest of the game.
Yep. So yeah, he
just
just goes for
retreating.
the Blacephalon.
Trying to do as much
effort.
damage as possible. Go out with a bang, right? 250 damage, not
Maybe
too
there's a
shabby.
secret weakness or some secret effects, but no, the Dragapult will survive the hit. A bit burned, a bit hurt, but the Max Phantasm is gonna hurt much, much more. There is the knockout, even taking 2 prizes if he wants to. So yeah, really showing off the power of Dragapult in this matchup, and overall, really proving itself to be a new contender for the game, to take down this tournament. Both these players will be into top 8, right, Martin?
Yeah, both of these players at 18-2. It's so crazy, right? 18-2 is just I can't imagine that record. That's at any tournament, right? If you compare like interregional, if you finish all your Swiss rounds with only like 1 or 2 losses, that's so crazy. So yeah, 18-2 in the best of 1 format is just insane, and
it is massive.
It shows that the players prepared very well. Their decks were built accordingly. They put a lot of thought into it, and I really like this Dragapult build. That's a build I'm going to try out myself for sure, because I didn't like the Malama builds that have been going around, at least in my testing group. I like the Scoop Up Net, where you have all these options. You really abuse Scoop Up Net to the fullest, I believe.
Beautiful card that have been printed, given some support to non-fully V or GX decks, and hopefully we will see other applications of it in the future. This obviously, remember, it's the first big tournament. Probably, actually, this is the biggest tournament, right, that we had up until now online. I think we never reached this amount of people.
I think so too.
So yeah, thank you very much for the people as well that are all behind this, trying to organize this big tournament. Trying to bring out is no easy job. And yes, so
I think we will go to a quick break, or not a quick break rather, because we need to figure out all the final standings, you know, all the matchups, the brackets for top 8. So I think we'll have a little bit of a longer break, and yeah, we will let you know when we will be back. You will see it on screen for sure, and I'm really, really hyped for top 8. And I have a slight feeling that we will see a lot of Babel, Cephalon, and Picarom.
Oh yes, I'm very happy to see Picarom do well again. So yeah, guys, if you're excited for top 8, top 4, and the finals, stick around. We will be back. See you soon.
Make money today